Linda Barcz from the Barcz Company is here taking your plant and garden questions, so let's talk about gloves.
Snow blower, don't you love this?
Oh, it's coming.
Now, for those of you, and I'm among them this year, if you haven't gotten your hosta and daylilies cleaned up, these are marvelous. They're lined, and they will keep your hands dry, so you can be out there working. So it's not just for snow.
Okay, and it's time to bulb.
It is time to do bulbs, and if you haven't done garlic ever in the past, buy the whole clove like this, and then just before you plant, you break them into pieces, don't peel them, and then plant them about 2 inches deep, and cover it with 2 inches of soil, and then put a nice mulch over the top of that, and then you water it up until about June, then stop watering, and then harvest it June and July.
Can you use the garlic like in the grocery store?
The garlic in the grocery store may have been treated.
Okay.
This has been treated, so this will sprout.
All right.
So other bulbs, we've got lots of them, tulips, daffodils.
Now's the time.
Yes, it is.
All right, let's go to the phones. We will start with a call from Middleton. I don't have your name, I'm sorry. Are you in Middleton?
Hi, this is Karen, and I was just wondering if I can plant my New Dawn roses yet. I have them sitting in their little pots, and I want to put them in the ground. Is that okay?
Absolutely, I would get them in as soon as possible. This weather is difficult, and the soil is rather wet, but the sooner that they are planted would be good, and then mulch them with some sort of wood mulch to keep the soil from getting cold. See, that's how mulch will actually keep the soil warmer longer at this time of the year, and then you'll get some roots developing. And then make sure that you keep them watered if the rain stops. Water it up until ground freezes.
All right, we'll go to Tom now in Montello. Hi, Tom.
Hi, I got some shrubs that are in the ground that I want to transplant, and I also have a berry bush that I want to transplant. Is it still time?
I think that you can do that. See, the shrubs are probably dropping their leaves, and that's good, especially with this frost. This is going to force all the leaves that are still green out there to change very quickly, and that's a good time to transplant after the leaves are dropping on plants, and I would do it sooner than later.
All right, Betty in Briggsville. Hi, Betty. Betty, you there?
Yes.
Hi, what's your question?
I have some winter hardy hibiscus, and I was wondering when is the best time to cut them down and cover them up.
Okay, now the hibiscus that I have, you mean the one that the great big saucer-like flowers on it, Betty? I think hardy hibiscus, it's the ones that get the great big huge flowers. I usually don't cut the stems down because I forget where it's planted otherwise, and they're very late to come in the spring. So I would do a nice mulch now, and then, because that's going to help, because it's going to get cold. We're moving into some really rather cool weather. We could have Indian summer afterwards, but who knows? But I don't cut them back because then they sort of serve as a marker for where they are in the spring, because they're very late to start in the spring.
All right, let's go to Matt now in Wanakee. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Hi, Matt. What's your question?
Yes, I have hickory nuts out here, a couple of hickory nut trees, and about half the nuts are with worms in them.
All right. And do you harvest your hickory nuts after they drop to the ground?
Yes, we're picking them up now, and about half of them are worm molds.
See, I typically, you can't be spraying anything like that. I guess you're just going to have to, I don't know if something, maybe I can try to see and talk about it next Monday, because that's a question that I'm not real familiar with, but obviously an insecticide at this point, just harvest the good ones and enjoy. Yeah.
All right. Mita in Madison. Hi, what's your question? Mita, you there?
Yes, I'd like to ask you and Betty if I have this tropical plant and I want to know when to cut it down because it gets very stringy in the winter.
Okay, tropicals, if you're going to be bringing that in, you can actually cut them back at this point, or do you happen to know what kind of tropical it is? Oh, I'm sorry, because I just realized there would be different ways that you would treat. Like, I have a friend that's bringing in a bougainvillea, and so that is blooming right now. He's not going to cut off the flowers at this point, so he's going to let the flowers go, and then he'll move it to a cooler room and not water quite so heavily. So it sort of depends. And bananas, you don't cut back real hard, but you store them someplace also where it's cooler. You're not trying to keep it alive unless you have lots of sun.
Depends on the plant.
Yes, sunroom.
So the growing season ends essentially tonight. Do you cover stuff up if you want to say, but it's going to be in the 20s for a week. You're going to be out there a lot.
See, and I know, and I think most people have harvested a lot of their things. I mean, carrots, the things that are in the ground are going to be fine. But yes, I guess it's time to move on.
All right, we're out of time for now. If you're on the line, stay there. Linda will take your call off the air. We'll see you next week.